Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode. Hey, happy morning. So it's Monday. We're going to be a busy full week. So the challenge starts this upcoming Saturday. So that means we have 3 weeks of sales because we sell it all the way up to the challenge, as well as 2 weeks after the challenge for people to participate in the challenge to get the results that they're looking for. So far, we are far behind quota, or for at least goal for the sales side of things. And it seems like there's been from what I'm gathering, the disconnect has been from the lead to the marketing to the sales conversation. Those are the 3 steps in our sales funnel. We put out the ads on, primarily Facebook. We then have someone engage and interact with those leads, calling and texting, voicemails. And then finally, the person comes to the studio and they have that in-person sales experience. The ads are very straightforward. We have like 10 different ads and they all say, hey, we're looking for people to do a transformation. We're looking for men over 50 to do a transformation, women over 40 to do a transformation. It's pretty generic. We're not doing anything. It's straight copy. We're not doing like reels, video clips, testimonials, which we should be doing, but those haven't clicked the way that we wanted. So they're not turned on right now. And then when the leads come in, the conversations we're hearing are people coming in and they're like, oh, it's not smooth. I thought I was coming in for a class. I thought I was coming to talk to a manager. I thought I was coming in for this, coming in for that. And there's misunderstanding as to what they're coming in for. There's confusion as to what they're coming in for. So they come in like, I don't know. And the closing rate is really small. It's not what it used to be. And so there's 2 transition points where there's an issue. And I need to get down to the bottom of it. And it's either when they see the ad and they talk to a person and they say, oh, I didn't realize it was actually this. And so that's where it's a drop off. Statistically, that's not the issue because it's about a 50% conversion to the next step rate. Or it's from the time they're calling and texting and conversing to when they come into the studio with like, hey, I thought I was coming in for this. And now you're telling me I came in for that. And I don't know. I'm not going to buy. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the handoff. And that's the trickiest one to quality check, because that's where there's a 10-minute phone call per lead, or you have a bunch of back and forth texts where people are scheduling and booking something. That just takes more time for me to go in and spot check. And some of the, my wife and I had a really good sit down this past weekend on Saturday night. Long story short, I've been working 12 hours a day for the past, 2 months, at least 1 month. But like I haven't been plugged in, connected. We haven't been on the same page. I'm still thinking about work when I'm with our kids. Have a short temper with them, and I'm not the person I am on this podcast. I'm lively and upbeat because I can like just unload my download onto the audio waves. But I'm at home and I have to be a parent. I get to be a parent, a husband, a friend, a mentor, a spiritual leader in the home. I'm just moody and I'm not plugged in and I'm not present because I'm stressed and I'm thinking about the profit and losses. I'm thinking about the sales process, the training, people who want pay raises, staff that want better hours, members that want to join, members that want to quit, SBA loans that need to get paid, a technology migration that corporate is pushing on us and that's not going to improve our revenue. And I have too many things in my head. And even though I'm an absentee owner, I still have a lot of my brain space. And so all that to say, I had a good heart-to-heart with Courtney over the weekend. It's like, hey, here's where I'm struggling. Here's where I'm stuck. And we both were able to just say, hey, here's what's not working. Like, this part here is not fun. This part's not fun. This part's okay. This part, though, is not really going very well. And she's a type 9. I'm a type 3, if you know your Enneagrams. And it's hard for me to hear some hard truths, but I need to hear like the straight talk. And for her, she takes a little, for the general population, she takes longer to like open up and like show like that, like the deeper thoughts that are there, because she doesn't want to upset the apple cart. She doesn't want to make people feel like she's correcting them or like chastising them. And so it's harder for her to give like candid feedback. With me, she's able to do it, but she also wants to give me runway, like, hey, maybe it's a season. Maybe I'm just working a full-time job and mentally like working the studio. Maybe it's just a season. Maybe we just need a day, a week, a month. And then to realize like, no, the past 6 months have been really hard. And that's the truth. It's been hard. It's not easy. It's been really difficult. And it's the candid question, like, hey, would we do this over again? In some parts, yeah. In some parts, like, no, I didn't sign up for having to figure out how we're going to cover losses every month. I didn't have to want to think about like managers. I didn't want to have to think about like instructors wanting pay raises when certain things are happening. And so all that to say, let's bring the conversation back to a normal reason for bringing it all up. What am I going to commit to and what am I going to let go of? What am I going to allow God and fate, which actually God's in control of it all. Fate is the non-spiritual term for it. What am I going to allow to happen? And what am I going to stop trying to grip control over the whole time? And I've been trying to grip control on so much. And that's why I've been working until 10 o'clock at night. Like here's the work schedule. Work from 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Hang out physically with the family from 6 o'clock until 8 o'clock. The whole time I'm mentally like disengaged. And then when the kids go to bed from like 8 to 10, work another 2 hours. I'm drained. I'm tired. I'm just ready to take a break and not do it. My wife doesn't feel like I'm there. I'm not present, which I'm not. And no one's happy with it, with the arrangement. And so something has to get let go of. And so realizing, okay, I can do a lot. I can participate a lot. I can invest a lot. I can try to solve a lot, but I can't just give and assume that the home front's going to be okay with that in the long run. So all that to say, stop reducing the work hours. And like, I've got a full-time day job. Like that's a commitment I've made. They still get my full 45 hours, but I can't give 60 hours anymore. I have to wind that back to like a 45-hour time commitment. And then the bonus things I'm trying to do on top of my day job and on top of the studio, I have to like really question, like, is this something that I can do or not do? And yeah, all that to say, the upcoming session is looking very light. And I can stress about that. I can implement this and this and this new program, this new sales funnel, this new talk track. Let's mastermind this. You realize, okay, I don't have the bandwidth to invest more time into this because I'm bleeding my personal life dry and I can't do that. And so if that means we have a light session, then I'm going to have to trust my staff to come up with the difference. And if they can't come up with the difference, then the things are going to start to unwind. And I have to be okay with that. And detaching from the outcome is something that I need to do better at. I can do a lot of time. I can do a lot of energy. I can do a lot of mentoring, guiding, coaching, training, resource development, pointing people in the right direction. But I can't be so hands-on. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm a superhero and I'm at the club or doing so much in the club. I'm still a very much an absentee owner. And at the end of the day, I need to slow down the pace of life because I'm just wiped out every day. And I'm not giving my best to my family, not giving my best to my day job. I'm not giving my best to the studio when I'm doing 12 hours a day, even 14 hours a day. So that's where I'm at. And we'll just have to let things play out. Podcast is set up to auto publish 3 episodes a day. Let's see. I waited to have like 250, 260 episodes before starting the publish and release. So that should be good for 3 a day. That's like, what is that? 90 days worth of content. So 3 months. I'll still record these episodes. So it's going to probably just be a hair over 90 days. I just praying that, hey, like all these episodes, all these diaries, letting the world into my brain and into what it's like to go through all this so that this can lead to some traction and free up some other areas of life. In the back of my head, I thought a long time ago, we'll buy two studios. That'll far surpass my day job. We'll transition. It'll be peaches and cream. And it's been a giant process that was not nearly as smooth as I thought. And I stayed at my job way longer than I anticipated. And I like my job. So I wasn't trying to bail on anything that I disenjoyed. But there was this big fairy tale that's turned into more of a reality check. So releasing these episodes, recording these episodes, and wearing my heart on my sleeve. So I'm going to stop here. We're almost at the studio. I'm going to say it's just me, myself, and I, and this recording microphone that I've got. We're going to go have some good sales training. We're going to be very candid, like, hey, and also I'm going to transition what KPIs I report on. I talked to someone who this other person has been open with their staff about the monthly profit and loss, the finances on the business, and the owner is very profit and loss driven, and the team is very much people impact driven. So when the team sees, we had a great month or we lost money, it's just a turnoff because they're like, hey, well, how many people did we help? How many lives did we change? How many customers are we going to keep? Those are the things that they care about. And so where are we at? We're in early April. So I'm going to focus, or I'm going to shuffle my focus for the team. I'm definitely still on the profit and loss side because that's how we keep the doors open. But I'm also going to include a metric of like, how many new members are we helping? How many members did we lose? How many people do we have in the pipeline for this? How many referrals are we at? It's going to focus around like number of lives and humans in our sphere because I think it's be more relevant for them. All that plus telling them like corporate is wanting to do a technology migration in 2 weeks, and I'm pushing back and saying, hey, I don't want to do that. We're not in a solid position to do that kind of thing. Let's put a pause on that because it's not going to help us thrive. That's going to make it tougher for us to have a solid month. So please give us another couple weeks so we can give our attention to this and not disrupt our business structure. So anyhow, one thing at a time, lots of things at a time, and detaching from outcomes. We'll do the input. We'll do the input, but I'm not going to attach emotional energy to the output because I'm going to let God and fate figure that out. I don't want to say God and fate. I'm going to let God figure it out, and He will make a way when there is supposed to be a way. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. Let's rock and roll. This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY Due Diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.